Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, good everything. Welcome to Live with Joan. We are here on this gorgeous sunny day, and I might have some news. But in the meantime, I'm going to wait till some people come on. And we know that, sorry, I've got to move my... Is it working?
Leslie Williams says hi.
Hi, Leslie. Penelope. Up. Come on. Hi. Oh, yeah.
I don't have to go like this and whisper anymore.
No, you can be normal.
We've got people watching.
Okay, good.
Christine Daigle Cole says hello.
Hello.
Hello. And
Hi.
she hasn't said hello, but Terry Ann McGrath is watching.
Okay, good. I'm about to spill coffee on Ryan because I've got I was going to hide Ryan, but I've got my Ryan Gosling blanket here.
Nolene Gratian says good morning.
Good morning. What time is it there? It must be late. Must be like 2 in the morning.
Joyce Lee says hi.
Hi, Joyce.
Amber McCarthy's on here. Hi,
hello, Amber.
She says hello. Terry Ann McGrath says good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Barbara Spalding says hi. It's Barbara from Maine.
Oh, hi, Barbara.
Michael Hofferberg, good morning from
good
the
morning.
Pacific Northwest.
Yes, you've got snow and then snow, but maybe you don't anymore. And then that's New York. Snow, they have like 5, bam, 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 and I'm sure Maine.
Nolene Gratian says it's 4 a.m.
4 a.m. All right, that's not so bad. I get up around then.
And Ayat is on. Good morning from Petaluma, California.
Good morning, Ayat. Ayat just graduated.
Yeah. Oh, yay. And Kayla Dodd says hello from New Hampshire.
Hello, Kayla. And, okay, so we have lots of stuff coming up. Starting tomorrow, I'll be live in here and anyone can join, but if you want to join the May Their Memory Be a Blessing, I would sign up for it because there's a ton of homework. There's some really special things that we're going to do in this, we're going to process. And then in a week we have, the Animals in Transition, Death, Dying, and Beyond the following weekend as an immersive. So the May Their Memory Be a Blessing is free. And then if you do the May Their Memory Be a Blessing, that's free. You get a big discount on the immersive. And I'll talk more about both of those things here in a minute. We also have the Spring Intensive coming up. We still have spots on the Dolphin Trip in June, and we still have spots on Tula Tula in September in South Africa. And I also wanted to say, we haven't announced the Animal Medical Intuition. That's going to be big fun, and that's in June, along with energetic horsemanship. And literally, when that day is done, the next day I fly, and then I'm with dolphins. Then I'll have a day or so in West Palm, and then I'm flying to the Mustang. What am I flying to? The Mustang, anyway, a big Mustang event where I'll be doing EFT in Colorado. So June is already getting wacky. I guess I won't be visiting my brother in New York because I'll be doing my 2 old stomping grounds, Florida and Denver, or Grand Junction. I don't know if I've ever been to Grand Junction. Anyway, lots of fun ahead. And I will say that I'm getting very excited for the chakra book. But, before I go crazy with the chakra book, I just want to remind people who haven't done it. This book, Emotional Freedom, we're going to do some tapping here today. Oh, yes, we are. This book, Emotional Freedom Technique for Animals, I can't tell you, if you have an issue at home, if you have something going on, I just want to share this because I'm going to go chakra crazy here pretty soon. And I don't want to forget, and actually we're going to talk about that in a minute, about transitions. I don't want to forget that this is really not a precursor, but it really has a lot. I feel like all my books had a progression, right? The first one was Communication with All Life, then it was Energy Healing for Animals, and then it was Emotional Freedom Technique. Somewhere in there, I put out a AC 101, my uh, self-published book, which is very much more instructional. But this is very instructional, not only about EFT tapping, but I really go into emotions and behavior in a way that when you read the chakra book, you're going to go, oh. So anyway, that's I just wanted to do a plug for that because it also ties into transitions, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. So who else is here and where are they from?
Okay, going back. Jennifer Santini, hello from Hurley, Wisconsin.
Hello.
Julie Jacobs says, hi all, congrats on the new fur baby. I got a new baby too, 13 weeks today, 2.5-pound firecracker.
Wow.
And my little girl.
Can you
back.
put pictures?
And Joanne Bloom is, hi Joanne, she's here from Lafayette, New York.
Hi Joanne.
Danielle Mary says, hi from New Hampshire.
Hello.
Michael Hofferbert says, oh, they disappeared for a minute. EFT is a great book.
Thank you.
Tina Kim Baccarello says, hi, Joan and all. Finally made it to a live. Hi.
Hi.
Like, we've got people on here we haven't seen in forever.
I know, I love it.
Love it.
Okay, so I did a thing. I'm going to tell you first that this is all super related to the May Their Memory Be a Blessing. My dog Delilah died on October 4th, and then I had to teach I got to teach the intensive, which was super fun, but tragic, right? And thank God I had something to focus on. And the people that were here, I mean, it couldn't have been more of a perfect, like, here, you're just taking care of Joan. And you're taking care of others, which is, of course, part of my big purpose. And so the minute that was done, I got COVID, which I've never had. And it really was, it wasn't that bad, right? But it gave me the opportunity to just grieve for the week. Like, I grieved. And then we had some more classes here, and I was better-ish. I wasn't quite right. And then I flew to Kenya and Tanzania. Then I went to Rwanda, and I still wasn't quite right. Like, there were some things that my lungs weren't quite right. There were things that occurred that were a challenge to my health. And when I came back, I noticed that, I was down a bit. The lung thing is obviously grief, which I will say this, during the holidays, I have a friend that comes every year. Usually we do nothing and we read, but we filled the fun cup for a year. We did so many things. I had all these New Yorker friends in, so it was like my Broadway actor meets Hollywood, like all my old friends. The fun factor was at not 10, but 150. And so I'm really grateful I did that, because then with the fires, and I got so sick again. I got the influenza A. And through this roller coaster of dealing with my own version of physically having something manifest that puts me on the couch so that I have to face my grief. And I'm usually somebody that walks into it. I mean, Michael knew me back when my sister was dying. I didn't have a choice. But Delilah was also a party girl. And there was no party here. I mean, no party. And no matter how cute these two were together, Penelope and Abby, the pressure was almost on them to perform as cute. I can't even explain it, but there was something missing. And during the fires when I evacuated, I was in the hotel and I told Claudia, I keep dreaming about this rescue. I keep dreaming that there's a puppy there. So anyway, I wanted a border collie cross, and this is Elsa. So meet Elsa, who looks like, even she's a border collie cross, and so is Penelope. It's as if Abby and Penelope had had a love child. I mean, they're both girls, but anything's possible in my world. So, and you cannot believe how ridiculous they are, right? Like, she was so independent. Yeah, I know we're sleepy. And if I could bottle up this puppy breath,
Oh my God.
I would.
You
And
make millions.
if you want to come to the spring intensive, this belly will still be here. Anyway, the combination, it's in development because I will say that Delilah was not exactly tender to Penelope at first, and then they became like this. And Penelope did a little bit of that, but within a day, these guys were playing. And that's what was missing in the house. At 13, at nearly 14, Delilah would play with both of these guys in the house, outside. I made a video the day before she died of her getting both of the other two dogs to play while I'm trying to put my shoes on. So this is like, our world was play. And anyway, our world is a little bit back to fun. Is anyone saying anything?
Oh, yeah. Joanne Bloom says cute. Loretta Hayat says, oh, so cute. Oh my God. You guys, it's ridiculous. Val, little happy face. With hearts. Jennifer Santini, oh my goodness, adorable. Christina Daigle Cole, oh my God, heart, 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 heart.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Kale, precious little munchkin. Leslie Williams, Elsa is so adorable. Jen Ramian, she is beautiful, those ears.
I know. Well, and also Jan, hi Jan, they didn't, she came like that. Your ears are getting bigger. All the better to hear you with, huh? All the better to hear me. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Anyway, it's, yeah.
Yeah, so Chana just put the link in for the spring renewal intensive. So if you want to get your dose of puppy breath and belly rubs.
Because I think, yeah, we're about to, close registration. So you definitely want to jump in on that.
Julie says, Elsa's so cute. Joyce Lee Leggett says, so cute. Michelle Christensen, she is a darling. She's
pretty ridiculous. My stomach is growling a lot and I have a mic on, so I'm sure you're hearing, like, it's not an earthquake. We're hungry. Anyway, so that's it. And Val's in the classroom, with her sister. Val, if you want to bring her sister in and then come get her, and then the leash is by the, the leash is hooked to the, door over there. Yeah. Actually, Delilah's long leash. So, anyway, again, why I plugged this book, it's an interesting thing to bring someone new into your house because, Animals in Transition is the subject of the immersive we're doing. It's the subject of what we do in the fall intensive. And also it's, going to be Not My Shocker book is next, but then the next book is Animals in Transition, Death, Dying, and Beyond. And so there's the death, dying, and beyond, but there's also the transition part, right? Like, I took her from her little the whole, there were a lot of puppies. And she cried all the way to the house, and she was the most independent, and then she gets here and she's kind of not. And so Abby has been Saint Abby, and then Penelope has been Penelope the player. Anyway, but all these things are transitions. Did Val come in?
Yeah. Hi.
This is the sister. Did she bring Daisy?
Well, of course she did.
Okay. Oh, here's Daisy. Hi, Daisy. Oh, hi. Look there's your sister. Hi. Hi. I know, you get to go in the other room and play. And there goes my stomach. Can you hear it? All right. Hi.
So here's the best thing is that while we are doing this, Val has puppy daycare going on in the
classroom.
Best world ever.
All right. Have another puppy. Hooray. Oh. Hi. Hi. Oh my goodness, you are so cute. Okay. All right, bye. Penelope, come on.
Mara Schifrin is asking if this is animals in, I'm assuming it's transition. Yes, this is.
Yeah, I'm going to talk a lot about that. So, did anyone else say anything?
Charlie says she's Joan's mini-me. Totally.
It's a little scary. It's a little scary. Yeah, because there have only been a couple dogs that stare at me, and horses. I had Pony Boy. That was it. Cats. No. Dogs. Well, Penelope kind of likes me now, but she likes everybody. I'm a nothing. But Olivia was a family dog, but she was definitely my dog. Delilah.
Delilah.
Tracked.
Have her eyes on you at all times.
Yeah, and this one might be like that. We'll see. And I don't need it, but I don't mind it. Right. I love how independent these guys are. So, right. And here's Abby, Saint Abby. Can we get a close up of Saint Abby's face without showing dog hair? It's all right. No. So, yeah, definitely.
Abs. I just don't want to lose this. Here we go. Abs.
Oh, Saint Abby. Saint Abby. She has been extraordinary. Here's another story. So I'm a vegan and I feed all the meat, the dog stuff out there. And they definitely get bones. And so the puppy had gone running toward Penelope's bone, which is an N-O. And Penelope definitely, has growly sounds. So she started to growl and I picked the puppy up and moved her. And Abby picked up the other bone and dropped it off for the puppy. I mean, who does that? Except St. Abby, who is ambassador to all living beings. She'll bring the coyotes home if you want. She has gibbon friends. She's got a cow friend at the Gentle Barn. I mean, she has friends. So, but she is now, I thought she was just the ambassador out in the world, but it turns out she's a saint at home. So, anyway.
Tina Kimbarella says Abby is so sweet.
She is the best. So anyway, it's interesting because there's a few reasons why I do this now. First, I find winter, well, we all tend to turn in, and I know that Nolene is like, but it's summer here. But this time of year, we tend to, like, I go to bed much earlier than I do in the summer. I wake up and it's really dark, and, we tend to internalize a little more in the winter. And in that way, we might be examining our losses. And another thing that is coming up is Valentine's Day. And whether you have a human Valentine or not, it's still, the message is love, and we can't help but to think about who some of our other Valentines were. Um, what's the matter?
Nothing. I'm making sure that the link shows up.
Oh, you had a look. Like, it was almost a teacher look. Like, you didn't get that. All right. Anyway, we've been talking about teachers a lot here. I'm the mean PE teacher to my dogs, just because there's so much going on. So, the reason that I do this every year at this time is it started when I lived in Carnation. It would just be so dark, and it was like, nobody's going to fly to Seattle, although they all just did that January. But in February, what if we focus on our beloveds that we've lost, and we can do it in our pajamas? That's how it started. And it was really because it was cold in February in Seattle. Here, at least, it's sunny during the day, but when it gets dark, it's like it literally has that time to go to bed, and you can't help but to notice who isn't in the bed anymore, right? There's a big hole where Francesca was. There's a big hole where Delilah was. Although slowly but surely, some animals are filling it. But it is just that time of year where we tend to, we've had the rush of like, oh, let's have all these goals set. Oh, by the 31st, we're like, epic fail. And then, it's February just becomes much more of a thoughtful month. And so that's why I do it. And I personally have, we know I lost Delilah in October. I lost Gabrielle a year ago. 6 months before that, I had lost Francesca. So she was a cat and Gabrielle was a horse. Those are some epic, personalities that moved from Carnation down here. Actually, that's north. Moved from Carnation down here with me. And then, they helped shape after losing my dad. Francesca came in right before my dad died, delivered a bunch of kittens, saved my life. These are some epic personalities, and I know we all have beings to honor. And so that's why I'd love it if you have somebody that you are going to honor through the free event of the May Their Memory Be a Blessing, because we have lots and lots of things. And then the other question, so if you'd type in who it is that you want to honor, the other thing is, are you able to connect with them? Because a lot of the homework that we have in this May Their Memory Be a Blessing is all about moving some of this stuff out of the way to be able to connect with them. And if you're still kind of stuck not being able to do it, then we have the workshop, the immersive, coming up on the weekend. But, some of the things that really get in our way is the guilt, is the grief, and if we had like a little system to move through, which is what I've created through the homework, then it's easier to feel connected with them at any time you want. And not that they're just hanging out waiting to connect with us, but because I also feel very strongly about like, I'm not sitting here asking for guidance all the time. You do your thing. And if you'd like to visit, I would love it. I've had Isabella here like crazy. I joked that during COVID, I had my dinner with my dead parents every night. So, there are times. And then I go for months where I don't feel my parents. And then lately, I felt both of them again as I brought this puppy in. So, those are all the sorts of things that are part of a transition. Has anyone typed anything in?
Yes. April Adams. Oh, where did it go? I just lost it. April Adams says, my sweet boy Coda, the CH kitty. He is the guy in the profile pic. Lost him in October to cancer. I'm still so broken. Christine Daigle Colm, my heart and soul milk.
I know. I was thinking about Milkbone.
Barbara Spalding, this is the perfect timing. My little Layla is in heart failure, and it's time to honor her and say goodbye.
Oh, and I remember you went through the fall intensive online with your last dog, so before Layla.
Leslie Williams says, Alfie, my beautiful cat. Amber McCarthy. Oh, where did you go? Hold on, you guys. T-Bone, her dog. Sweet Pea was the last of my pack, 3 dogs and 2 cats that I had over 2 decades. Nancy Bishop, Smokey Bear Bishop. Danielle Murray, my girl Mocha just passed a week ago.
I know, right as we were, yeah.
Barbara Spalding says with Ziggy.
Yeah, I remember. Because you went through, and then I think Ziggy died literally right after the fall intensive. So, transition can be anything. We look forward to this transition of getting a puppy, but I'm sad about this little thing we had, right? With just me and Penelope and Abby. And so there's lots of ways that I honor those two. It'll be a long time, obviously, before the puppy goes on a hike. But the transition of, oh, we were grieving to, oh my God, we've got chaos. But she's grieving too, right? She lost a whole litter. I mean, she literally, she has little cries in the night. So but she's comforted by the fact that there are dogs and she's not just stuck with me. But there are, transition can be a dog retiring, the show ring, or a dog retiring. I think about how many animals we do in the animals advanced training, a lot of shelter animals, but we also do all the movie star animals that are the neighbors. Sometimes they don't get the job, or they're now moved into being the house animal.
I had the bomb sniffing dog that almost got retired because they thought they didn't want to work anymore.
Right. Yeah. So transitions can be a lot of things. And what happens is we ignore a lot of the little griefs in the day. And so then when our animal dies, it's like all grief comes to play. It's like, wait, I didn't want so much grief. But at the same time, it's very profound to go ahead and take a look at all of it. And that it's interesting because, again, I was going to mention this. I feel compelled to be talking about this book because literally March 1st marks the beginning of, I have to start promoting the Chakra book. It's like, but wait, this book has so much to offer. And, there's a little part of me that feels bad that I'm going to, I had so much time between the first 2 books and the third. But now, I'm literally going to be cranking books out for the next few years. So it's a weird, even that feels like, oh, kind of an uncomfortable transition into this thing. So that's very exciting. That's the other thing. It's exciting to get a puppy. It's exciting to have a new book. It's exciting to have a new boyfriend, girlfriend. But wait, I liked my life over here. There's a lot of things that go into a transition, a lot of feelings, a lot more than just excitement that we often don't take the time to acknowledge. And I really love to grieve with the new animal and let them grieve and let us grieve. We've been doing that just so that we're not hanging on to something and then we're not comfortable with as the transition completely unfolds. Does that make any sense to anybody? Yes, no, maybe.
I'm waiting for them to respond in the meantime. Excuse me. Joyce Lee Leggett says Geronimo died 8/26/22, 18 years old.
Oh.
Barbara Spalding says, referring to having taken the intensive with Ziggy on her lap, she said, and that was the most beautiful thing, Joan. I am endlessly grateful.
Yeah, I'll never forget it as long as I live. Like, that was so powerful. To that you were vulnerable and present and we were part of it. It was really incredible.
Tina Kim Beccarello says, still missing my Benny and Annie. It's
I
not
bet.
easy. Yeah. Michael Hofferbert, Shadow, best kitty in the world, passed 2/19/20 at 24 years old.
Oy.
Jennifer Santini, my Great Dane Gracie, she put me on the path of energy work and the first one who ever communicated with me. I feel like I lost all the connections after she passed. And then as far as what you were saying about the transitions, Christina Daigle Cole says absolutely. Terry Ann says yes, perfect sense. Jennifer Santini says it does, but I feel like I'm still hanging on to the grief of the many I lost.
100%, right? Like, that's what I was afraid of, and I didn't want to bring a puppy in too soon. I'm always that one that just waits forever. But last year, when Gabrielle died, she sent me a new horse. It so unmistakably sent me this horse within 3 weeks of her passing. I'd had her 33 years. I had a lot of time to kind of pre-grieve because we had about 6 years of, I think this is it. Oh, wait, no. It's just Gabrielle.
Proving you wrong.
Yeah, proving me wrong which was her favorite game. In 1,000 ways. Every day was a game of, I win because I just proved you wrong, Joan. You're dumb. So anyway, but we had a long time. Both she and I had a long time to grieve together. And she certainly doesn't want me to be sitting around grieving her. So she sent me this new horse, right? That looked just like her when she was that age, except she didn't have the little white, and is on fire. And it's like riding her, but more correctly. And it's like that gift she gave me is also, in many ways, it's not her. For sure, it's not her. This is her own being. And a lot of the mistakes I made 38 years ago, I'm almost like presented with and given the opportunity to correct. And that is possibly one of the biggest gifts I've ever been given in my life. I have something similar with Drakkar and Pony Boy, but Drakkar was many, 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 many years later. But this was like, oh, hi, you're going to redo these lessons once again because you were wrong, Joan. But always. But I am getting the opportunity to redo. And I don't know that there's anything to redo with this puppy, but I know for the household, the sake of the household, for us, for these guys that are such players and so much fun, to not have a spark was going to change our chemistry in a way that was to the point of no return. And that I know. And so I did this way faster than I normally would. I hope that makes sense. And so that's where it's like, you can never replace Delilah. There's no replacing, right? There's no replacing Gabrielle. There's simply acknowledging that there's a giant hole and that I'm okay with there being a hole, but I'm not okay if it's really going to affect everybody else. At that point, we have to do something. And then I just kept dreaming, Sunny Day Acres. Like, when I was in that hotel, I was like, why am I dreaming about? I called her. I'm like, I keep dreaming about this rescue. And she's like, your puppy must be there. And I was going to wait a long time. I was going to see if I could go a year.
I laugh. Because I wasn't there when you met her, but I was there when we introduced the dogs to her at the shelter, at the rescue. And this little puppy was honed in on Joan. And they even said to you
that when I left the first time, she missed me.
Yeah. So, Leslie Williams says to the first time, she says, yes, it makes sense to me. Joanne Bloom says that her current German Shepherd grieved for 5 to 6 months after his brother was hit.
Yeah, it's so, these guys, I mean, Abby kind of hurt herself and, yeah, she hurt herself, but, so she's a little lackluster, but her ability to care for this puppy has given her new purpose. And Penelope is playing in the house. She plays outside with Abby, but
I've never seen her play like this in the house, like she was this morning.
Yeah. Well, she did with Delilah. They did a lot. They played all the time.
It's a different dynamic.
It's a different dynamic. Yeah, she's yeah. I've watched Penelope all of a sudden mature. She's very this elegant dog as opposed to this like, hey,
Flying Muppet.
Flying Muppet, yeah. Flying Muppet for sure. Yeah. But
and Jennifer Santini regarding Felina's story of Gabrielle sending you Felina, that is amazing. It truly was.
Yeah, you were always with me when I go see somebody new.
Yeah,
you met Felina the first time I rode her.
The first time you met her, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was standing next to the woman who was rehoming her, who was her horse, and I heard her on the phone say they belong together. It's like they've been riding together their whole lives.
Yeah. So, and Felina really she didn't grieve that much here. I've had other horses that have come here and just grieved. But Pegasus, Drakkar, both Anya, when I got Gabrielle, she was grieving. I mean, we were both, she was my ex-boyfriend's horse, and he and I had broken up, and he kind of dumped her, and he knew I would take care of her, and then eventually he gave her to me, but, she had a lot of grief. I mean, mostly, yeah, the horse, here's, thank you, Tanya, my Ryan Gosling blanket. Anyway, there's been, Felina was pretty happy to move into this herd. This was more her style than that fancy barn.
Where one of the horses from Yellowstone was, I remember. It was like all next to her.
Oh, see, I don't even.
Yeah. No, they had fancy horses.
They had fancy horses there.
I just remember that because they made a point to tell me that horse was from Yellowstone.
Oh, that would have meant nothing to me, but yeah. Because I don't watch TV. Anyway, so some of the things that if you haven't signed up for the May Their Memory Be a Blessing, a lot of the homework that we'll go over, really, when I think about, again, the guilt, the grief, and all the things, we have just little bits of homework that help you kind of release, be able to move through and be with the grief in a way that's new. And partly because, we're looking at the losses. Aging doesn't have to be a terribly sad thing. It isn't easy to watch somebody in the transitional stages of aging. But we also look at a lot of the other transitions that they go through. We look at their favorite things, what it is that they love to do. And it's, we're really memorializing them through their essence, their favorite things, the way in which we work with animal communication. So then it can become a pretty easy transition, if you will, into communicating and connecting with them. And then also, I'm just looking at the time. What would they want for us? Like, Delilah would not want these two to be moping around. She would be like, you guys should have gotten a puppy on the 5th of October. Right? You need a puppy. You need a puppy. You need a puppy is what she would have said. Clearly, you need a puppy. She would have obsessively said, you need a puppy. But apparently we didn't listen. And so sometimes, like, I think about Tina her new normal is there aren't any dogs, right? So sometimes we have to accept the new normal to move into that transition that then we know is going to be very powerful. Like, there's a lot that Tina would have to go through to even open her heart to what it would be to have a new dog. What would that experience be? And she may not even be ready to talk about it, but I'm just using her as an example because that's two very epic losses and all the transition steps that got her. I know, there are people down there doing things. Penelope, come here. Come on. Good girl. Up. Come on. Oh, you want to sit with Claudia? See? No, she wants to bark out the window. But anyway, there are a lot of things that got Tina to this moment. A million transitions. And it's sort of like going back to the joy of who they are so that we can see them again. A lot of times we end up, like, I don't remember my sister. I remember my sister in a million different ways, like almost the ghost of laughter, if you will. But I had a period of time for years after her death that I was afraid I was going to remember her as this emaciated cancer victim, right? And that's not at all. But so what we're doing through this, may their memory be a blessing, is almost like kind of kickstarting that process to us remembering who they were in that way. And that's really an important thing to honor, because I'm grateful I was with Delilah for her last breath, but that's not how she'd want me to remember her. And nor would she want to see us in this household. So even though we've gone through the new normal, we've done all these things, we also, for me, honoring Delilah was bringing play back into the house. That's the best way, because that little puppy is zipping through the house, and I can tell you that times 10,000 was Delilah. And the alligator teeth and the whole thing. Yeah, it's just parts of the house are, And then Penelope, I mean, I had to have somebody come in and redo a teak table. Those alligator teeth. Yeah, there are things that just gets, yeah. But so, a lot of what we, it's creating, so it's just creating the space to really remember them and see them as a blessing. And like I said, if you've signed up for this, you get 300 off, 200. Oh my God. Joe.
Well, technically, because the normal price is $9.97, we're doing a special of $8.97 and giving you $200 off. So technically, we are giving them $300 off the immersive price. So.
Yeah. So there you go. I knew that. And so we've got the immersive of Animals in Transition, Death, Dying, and Beyond. Is it the 21st and when is it? It's not this weekend, but next weekend. Friday, the 21st, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday, the 22nd, 9 to 5. And we will be connecting with animals who have crossed over. And as much as that sounds like, uh-oh, it'll be so painful, it's weirdly fun.
I always say, that was the one that I was most scared of, besides not wanting to do EFT, but in the intensive. And it ended up being one of my favorite modules in this fall intensive, because yeah, that fear, but then you get to remember.
Yeah, and this process that we're doing before, I'm really seriously considering sending this to anybody who signs up for the fall intensive, because I feel like this process of what we're doing with May Their Memory Be a Blessing just puts us in such a great mindset to then go, okay, I am ready to connect with animals who have crossed over, my own and others. And so that's another reason why we're doing it in this way. Because even if you don't end up doing it, why not give their memory a little spark and a little light versus being still this heavy thing we're carrying in our heart, if that makes sense.
I also want to say that if people sign up for the immersive by 10 a.m. next Wednesday the 19th, they get a free intro bonus class, the free bonus class of they get a bonus class of intro to animal communication. My goodness, I couldn't speak.
And you can do it that day. Isn't that the day?
That's the day, yeah, the class.
Or any other Wednesday, which it's the third Wednesday of every month. We've got
and that bonus and the discount expire on February 19th. So the $200 off and the bonus class will expire on midnight of Wednesday, February 19th.
So there you go. Has anyone said anything?
Yes. Hold on. Tim Vaccarello, thank you, Joan, just signed up for the spotlight.
Oh, good. Good. I really think it's going to bring peace.
Charlie Cale says, it's amazingly beautiful and bittersweet. Your heart is so full. One of my favorite as well.
For the immersive, yeah. So how many people are feeling the loss right now as we're talking about this? How many people are feeling the sadness? Yeah, me too. So I'm going to do a little tapping. A little EFT tapping.
Tina Canberra says, I am.
Yeah.
Allie Isaac says, me too.
Yeah. And I knew all of Allie's in the beginning.
Christine Daigle Cole says, me too. Leslie Lewin says, I am. Jennifer Santini says, feeling so much sadness for them all. Joyce Lee Leggett, I am. Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do for those who have never tapped is you're going to follow me and repeat after me. But before we do that, I want us to really close our eyes and unhook our legs and just take a moment to feel into our hearts that being or those beings. I know that Christine is going to be with Milkbone for a moment. You know, Tina's got 2. We've got, some big losses here. Leslie, Michael's got a cat of 24 years. Really feel into your heart with this. And allow it, as we're all together, so we're safe, to be with that sense of sadness. And now I want you to open your eyes, and you're going to follow me and repeat after me. even though
even though
I feel so sad.
I feel so sad.
I mean, sad.
I mean, sad.
Deeply, deeply sad.
Deeply, deeply sad.
And I love and accept myself.
And I love and accept myself.
Even though
Even though
I don't even know how I'm living without them.
I don't even know how I'm living without them.
It's so hard.
It's so hard.
They were so alive.
They were so alive.
And then they weren't.
And then they weren't.
And it's just, I don't understand. And I love and accept myself.
And I love it.
Even though I'm so sad.
Even though I'm so sad.
I know they wouldn't want me to be this sad.
I know they wouldn't want me.
So I honor the choices I'm making.
So I honor the choices.
I still get sad.
I still get sad.
I have deep grief.
I have deep grief.
I mean, grief that feels like deeper than any well.
I mean, grief that feels deeper than any well.
So deep.
So deep.
I feel like I'll never get through it all.
I feel like I'll never get through it all.
In this lifetime.
In this lifetime.
And yet, life goes on.
Life goes on.
And I hate that.
And I hate that.
Because I want to hang on to this one memory of joy.
Because I want to hang on to this one memory.
All right, 10 million memories of joy.
All right, 10 million.
I don't want to forget who they are.
I don't want to forget who they are.
So when time marches on, it makes it almost harder.
It makes it almost harder.
Because I don't want to forget who they were. It makes me so sad.
It makes me so sad.
I'm sad.
I'm sad.
I'm really sad.
I'm really sad.
I'm really sad.
I'm really sad.
I am so sad.
I am so sad.
I am so sad.
I am so sad.
I want everybody to take a moment and just be with this last bit of sadness and see if we can go 150% into it and see if it moves out. Going back to the tapping through the points. I want to feel life.
Want to feel life.
I want to feel alive again.
I want to feel alive again.
I want the household to feel alive again.
I want the household to feel alive again.
I accept my sadness.
I accept my sadness.
It's just part of who I am.
It's just part of who I am.
And I accept that life is moving on.
And I accept that life is moving on.
I accept that they would want me to be having fun.
I accept that they would want me to be having fun.
I accept that they would want me to keep learning.
I accept that they would want me to keep learning.
I accept that they would want me to keep growing.
I accept that they would want me to keep growing.
I'm willing to do that.
I'm willing to do that.
I am releasing any guilt.
I am releasing any guilt.
And I am moving into grief in a new way. I'm allowing grief to be there because it's not going away. And I am moving into joy as well.
And I am moving into joy as well.
I am moving into being a full being.
I am moving into being a full being.
Which means I know grief is there. And I know joy is there. I accept my joy. And I accept what the next chapter is. Because I know my animals would want that for me.
Because I know my animals would want that for me.
Okay, and take a deep breath. Did we move the needle for anybody?